Good morning. My name is Greg Hodges. I have the great pleasure of serving as the president here at Patrick and Henry Community College. Welcome to the Spring 22 commencement ceremony. We are delighted to welcome you back to a face-to-face ceremony here in Stone Hall. Are you glad to be at face-to-face graduation today? After a couple of years of having to do this virtually, we are thrilled to be back inside with a face-to-face ceremony. For those who are complaining that it's cool inside, wear a cap and gown and you'll be singing a different tune, I promise you. I want to take just a few moments and recognize some special guests who are joining me here on the platform. I'll ask each to stand as I call their name and remain standing until the entire platform party has been recognized. First, we have Tiffany Underwood, who is the Patrick and Henry Community College Foundation Executive Director. We have Terry Young, Interim Vice President of Academic and Student Success Services. Dr. Lynn Tincher-Ladner, President and CEO of Phi Theta Kappa National Honor Society and today's graduation speaker. Janet Copenhaver, Local Board Chair representing Henry County. Professor Bronte Miller, 2021 Teaching Faculty Member of the Year. Brian Henderson, Assistant Vice President of Student Engagement and Inclusion and our college's Athletic Director. Rhonda Hodges, Vice President of Workforce, Economic, and Community Development. And our board members representing Henry County, Paul Guy, Monica Hatchett, Barry Helmstetler. Representing the City of Martinsville, Jewel Drury, Dr. Shanna LeGrant. Representing Patrick County, Dr. Clyde DeLoach and Roger Hayden. And representing Franklin County, George Hippisley and Brandon Scott. Please join me in thanking these folks for their participation and support of the work here at Patrick and Henry Community College. Thank you. Thank you. You can be seated. One of the highlights of every academic year is to recognize those faculty in our midst who are truly setting the bar for the instruction that happens here on our college campus. Our faculty recognition awards ceremony was held on May the 11th. Nominations were submitted by faculty, staff, students, and community members. All nominations are reviewed and rated by the Faculty Recognition and Reward Committee. I'm going to give you the names of the recently announced recipients and ask that each stand when I call their name. Winner of the Faculty Award for Professional Excellence in Student Achievement and Success and winner of a $1,000 check, Professor Randy Smith, instructor of welding. Congratulations. Thank you, Randy. Our Learning Environment Award winners for scholarly and creative engagement, Dr. Sean McAvoy, Assistant Professor of History and Religion. Faculty Leadership, Ronnie Carter, Associate Professor of Accounting and Economics. Multicultural Enrichment, Professor Jerry Bannon, Professor of Fine Arts. Teaching Effectiveness, I will apologize in advance, Professor Ike. We call him Professor Ike. His name is Ike Chukwu Umbuma Utunuya. We call him Professor Ike. Amen. Institutional Responsibility, Julie Metter, Associate Professor of Administrative Support Technology and Legal Assistance. We love you, Julie. Your family loves you. And for Community Service, Dr. Nancy Phillips, Professor and Department Lead, Business Technology. And now, I have the great honor of presenting 2 additional faculty awards, thanks to the generous donation of a local individual who has chosen to remain anonymous. Patrick and Henry Community College is proud to recognize 2 outstanding faculty members. Faculty may be nominated for this foundation award by students, peers, or other staff members. Academic deans and the vice president for academic and student success services call nominations to submit to the Patrick and Henry Community College Foundation. A committee of the P&HCC Foundation evaluates the nominees in areas such as student learning, campus-wide impact, student success, and professional excellence using a rubric created and adopted by the Patrick and Henry Community College faculty. The second place recipient receives the title of the P&HCC Distinguished Faculty Member of the Year and receives a check for $750. The first place recipient receives the title of the P&HCC Teaching Faculty Member of the Year and receives a check for $2,000, plus an individual professional development account for the following academic year in the amount of $1,250. This honoree will receive a spotlight story in the Foundation's annual report, a press release sent to all local media, and will serve as the faculty ambassador at multiple Foundation events during the 22-23 academic year. Jason Worley, the 2021 Distinguished Faculty member, led the faculty in today's procession carrying our new mace, which was first created in 2019. The mace is an institutional symbol of strength and authority with origins dating back to the 14th century. Today, it's used in ceremonial occasions in the life of institutions of higher education. In commencement exercises, when participants are in full regalia and the president is in attendance, the mace specifically indicates the authority of the institution's president to award degrees. This ornamental club is typically designed with features that is symbolic to the educational institution. Our mace features our compass and is engraved with our college seal. It was designed by P&HCC students and staff and created here at our own Idea Center. Bronte Miller, the 2021 Teaching Faculty Member of the Year, will recognize our honors designations during the ceremony. Patrick and Henry Community College expresses its deep gratitude to the donor who continues to remain anonymous, whose generosity will allow these awards to be given at graduation ceremonies for years to come. I will ask each of this year's winners to come forward to receive their checks and their medallions, recognizing their accomplishments. The 2022 winner of the Patrick and Henry Community College Distinguished Faculty Member Award and recipient of a check in the amount of $750 is Jason Worley, Assistant Professor of Biology. And the 2022 winner of the Patrick and Henry Community College Teaching Faculty Member of the Year and recipient of a check in the amount of $2,000 plus a professional development account in the amount of $1,250 is LaDonna Varner, English instructor and dual enrollment liaison. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our board chair representing Henry County, Janet Copenhaver, who will introduce today's speaker.
Good morning. I stand here as a proud graduate of Patrick Henry Community College, and on behalf of the Patrick and Henry Community College Board, I welcome you to our 2022 commencement exercises, and congratulations to the class of 2022. We also applaud and welcome those who support you in your educational achievements, your parents, spouses, other family members, and friends. The board would also like to recognize the college outstanding faculty and administration for their expertise, hard work, and guidance in getting you here today. So again, congratulations on a job well done and best wishes as you begin your next journey. This morning, I'm privileged to introduce the speaker, Dr. Lynn Tincher Ladner. Dr. Tincher Ladner is president and CEO of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, the nation's oldest and largest honor society for students seeking associate degrees and credentials from community colleges. Most of Lynn's time is spent creating opportunities for some of the nation's hardest working students by connecting them to the changing scholarships and family-sustaining employment. With nearly 30 years in higher education, she has become a community college math, chemistry, and physics instructor, computer programmer, database administrator, institutional researcher, and university faculty member. She serves on national boards for the College Promise Campaign, the Center for Community of College Student Engagements, Executive Director and Counsel of the Student Association of Colleges and Schools, Commissions on Colleges, and the Board of Directors for the American Association of Community Colleges. As a passionate champion for community colleges and community college students, she loves using data to tell their stories and to advocate for the support of these amazing students and quality institutions of higher learning. Lynn's family roots are in Ridgeway, Virginia, where many of her family remain. Her father, Drury Tincher, joined the military as a young age, and her family eventually settled in Mississippi. But summers were always spent in Ridgeway, learning about tobacco farming, cows, apples, and tractor driving. We are honored to have Dr. Tincher Ladner with us today. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium to deliver her speech.
Thank you so much for that. I feel Googled. Good morning. It's such a tremendous honor for me to be here, as you've heard, but thank you to Dr. Hodges and the Board of Trustees for inviting me to speak today. I love graduations. These are kind of like my Final Four, my Super Bowl, and this is really great. For those of you who you just learned, this is sort of a full circle moment for me. My mother and father were born and raised in Ridgeway, and even though we moved around, we were a military family, moved around a little bit, and eventually settled in Mississippi. When I heard the words back home, I knew that they were talking about this place. But I do want to offer my sincerest congratulations to the families and friends of these graduates. There have been many missed dinners, t-ball games, music recitals. Tonight we celebrate these graduates, or today, and we confirm that it was all worth it. But I'd also like to thank the faculty at Patrick and Henry for their commitment to excellence in teaching and learning. In addition to their expertise in their subject areas, I know they cared for you guys. And when you needed that little push of encouragement or maybe possibly a shove every once in a while, they were the ones there for you every single day. And it really isn't just the instructors here at Patrick and Henry. The staff in the financial aid office, they're rooting for you. And the campus police are keeping us safe while we work and learn. Working in a community college means other duties as assigned, and trust me, there are a lot of them. And finally, cheers to you, the class of 2022. After today, you can say you are a college graduate. And that means more than just the confirmation of your intelligence and your skills and your abilities. To employers, it means you can finish what you start. It means you can follow directions and keep a long-term plan. In this country, we believe in many things, but we do believe in the value of a college degree, and now you have one. I'm going to really try super hard today not to mention the word COVID in my remarks. And not because I do not believe it had a devastating impact on you personally and on your families and in this community, but because you are here. You are here, and that is evidence to me that it's going to take much more than COVID to get in the way of your success. Many of you are first in your families to go to college. Many of you have family responsibilities, and you take care of your children or other members of your family. Some of you manage high school and college at the same time. I don't know if I would have ever done that, but kudos to you. And most of you work in addition to obligations at your church and other community organizations, yet you are here. I say this to remind you that not everyone has a college degree. Right now, the state of Virginia has about 57% of working age adults with a college degree. That is 14% higher than it was 10 years ago. But colleges like this one are working very hard toward the goal of having 70% of Virginia's working age population with a college degree or a credential by 2030. For most of my career, I have researched student success. I have studied this topic not by talking to the students who have not completed college and have stopped out, and there's so many reasons why students don't complete college. I spend my time talking to the students who do, students just like you. And I think this is important to complete college for so many reasons, not just your individual economic mobility, but for the nation as a whole. And research tells us that if you're here today and you're graduating, then most likely you were engaged with your college experience. That word engagement, it sounds like you need to be married to college to do well. It's not like that at all. It's just a word we use in higher education. That means you are taking the opportunities that this college has to offer you. You stop and talk with your instructors. You have friends that you've made here at college. It means you are connected to this institution academically, professionally, personally, and probably socially. The reason we want students like you to be engaged with their college experience is because the research tells us it's the only thing we know for certain that causes student success. Engaged students like you are more likely to complete college and to get good jobs and to keep those good jobs. But my question to you is, if engagement caused student success, then what causes that engagement? And that is a research question I've dedicated most of my career to trying to answer, and it actually brought me to my work here at Phi Theta Kappa. Here's what I've learned about that subject. Students like you, number one, you have what we call a high self-efficacy for what you're trying to learn. Now, what self-efficacy is just the belief you can do something. Not that you've done it yet, but you believe you can do that. You can become the things you want to be. The best way to build self-efficacy is just to do things, to do new things that you haven't done before. But you have to be just as comfortable with failure as you are success. If you seek to own your own business, and I know some of you do, this is an essential part of who you should be moving forward. In my family, there are two of us that are CEOs, and the only thing the two of us have in common, the 2 children out of the 6 total, is that we actually believe we can do anything. We're just like, yeah, sure, we can do that. The rest of them are like, I don't know if I can get that done. I think when Yoda said, there is no try, there is only do, he was talking about building your self-efficacy. He's talking about doing things and, not just saying, I'm trying it. Now, another thing that I've noticed about students like you, when I talk to you, a lot of you say, it's because I have a strong work ethic. And I believe that to be true, particularly in this community, in this place. I remember coming here in the summers, and I remember being in the kitchen with my grandmother learning things, and all of the other grandchildren who were boys were outside with Grandpa. And so I asked my mom, I was like, why can't I go out and drive the tractor? Why do I have to be in the kitchen? And she said, it's because you're not a grandson, you just need to be patient. And I don't know if she said something to my grandfather or what, but he came home from lunch the next day and he stared at me and he said, let's go. So we got in his truck and we went to his cornfield. And we got out of the truck, and I think I was about 11 at the time, and he handed me this bushel basket. And he looked at me and he goes, let's go pick corn. So he would take a piece of corn and he'd put it in the basket. And as we're walking up and down those corn rows, that basket was getting heavy. A bushel of corn weighs 56 pounds. I know there are several of us in the audience that know this. But that basket was getting heavier and heavier, and I knew that if I complained about the weight of that basket, and if I knew that if I dropped it, that was it, game over. I was back in the kitchen with Grandma, So I was sweating it out, and I was smiling, and I was, and finally he thought there was enough corn in there, and he had tortured me enough. And we went home that night, and at dinner he was praising me. He was like, she didn't even flinch. She had that basket. The next day, I got my first pair of overalls, and the boys were on the sidelines, and I was driving the tractor. And that's what it means to be from a place like this.
Yeah.
I do consider myself to be a fairly successful person, and it is a lot due to my work ethic, and it is because of a place like this. I think another thing about you students here that you're successful is you really value the learning you're getting here at Patrick and Henry. You know that the skills and abilities that you are gaining will help you in college and work and in life. You also have developed a sense of belonging here. The culture that this faculty has created at this college make you feel important, and you are a valued part of the campus community. You belong here. Now, I know the reasons that I'm sitting here saying why you chose to be here while other students are not here. I know every student has different engagement triggers. Everyone's a little bit different. So I want you guys to sit there for a minute and think about it. What is it that made you a little extra, that made you complete college when other students didn't? Because whatever that is, I want you to hold on to it, because you're going to need it throughout your entire life. And it will help you push through and beyond barriers like COVID to do your very best, regardless of the circumstances. Being engaged, it's about everything that you're into, and it's about being into what you're doing. But it doesn't stop with this college. Employers expect you to be engaged. At Phi Theta Kappa, I have an entire program called an employee engagement program, and I cultivate it, and I expect it from my employees. And when I don't see it, they don't stay around. So this trait you have, make sure you apply it in the workplace as well. You've worked very hard to be here at this moment. Together as a group, the class of 2022 at Patrick and Henry, you have accumulated over 32,000 credits of college credit. This college is keeping its promise to this community to be an accessible and affordable place to learn. But when I compare the cost of what you spent here at Patrick Henry with the average tuition of other colleges and the public four-year colleges here in Virginia, you, as a group, you have saved over $4.4 million by going to Patrick and Henry. I'm a mathematician, trust me, I can calculate this stuff. We're good. A graduation speech, in case you guys ever find yourself in my shoes. It has no specific format, anything goes. Well, not just anything, but as a math person, I've studied patterns about these speeches, and they have these two parts. One is the congratulations part, and we're gonna keep on doing that, and I think I've got that checked off. And another part is always this advice for the graduates. So what type of advice do I have for you, and why would you want to listen to it? My kids, talk to me about, their success, and I'm like, when you're giving out scholarships and trophies for a living, then come tell me. I have the absolute best job on the entire planet. Okay, so now you need to listen to me, because I've got the best job on the planet, right? I want you to think about this. This is the number one thing that got me where I am, and it'll get you some places too. Do the jobs no one else wants to do. Do the jobs no one, I'm not talking about jobs, I'm talking about tasks on the jobs too. Everything you do will range from something you've already done before to an entirely new experience and new challenge. I encourage you to consistently take on new things when you go to work and in your academic life as well. Don't be the guy that knows a guy. I want you to be the guy. You'll gain experience quickly, and you'll be the last one affected by layoffs and the first one affected by raises and promotions. Another thing I want to tell you to do is lead from where you are. You do not have to be the boss of something to be the boss. Being the boss of something to me means doing your absolute best, whatever it is you're doing, and doing it well. I believe leadership is not a title. It's not who you are necessarily, it's what you do. Another thing I want you to think about is to make good choices. Every time my son leaves the house, I don't have to worry about the daughter so much. I'm like, make good choices, son. And I'm saying that not because a single choice can really mess up his life. I'm saying that to him because I truly believe that we are essentially, except for what we're inherited, through our genes, we are just a product of all the choices we've made in life. And our happiness, and I want you to be successful, but I also want you to be happy. And your happiness, to me, is when you look back at all those choices and you're satisfied with them. Your level of satisfaction with the choices that you've made is your happiness. So if you want to be happy, and I know you do, you've got to make good choices. And a lot of times you know when you're making a bad one, so don't do it. Another thing I want you to do is be patient. I look in the crowd and I see a lot of young people, but young people come to work for me and they want to be promoted in about 5 minutes. Be a little patient about that. When I was very young in my first job, I remember when the internet came to our college. I mean, I know that dates me a little bit. I remember the day the internet came, and I was so excited, and they put these computers on our desk, and they were big, big computers. You wouldn't even recognize them. But the internet didn't come. The internet went to the library first, which of course it should. And then it went to the administration building, which was a little questionable about that. But, the internet, I was waiting and waiting and waiting. So, I had the cables, and I was a network person myself. So I jump up in the ceiling, and I go plug into the router in the library, and I plug it into my computer, and I've got the internet. No one else in the building does. Well, they told on me. It was tumultuous. I call it Internet Gate. But I just want you to know I was not very patient and nearly lost my job over it. So just know that that's another story to kind of tuck in your back pocket. Fortunately, the college administration valued my initiative more than my mischief, and I am here. But if you move through your employment experience and things are not moving fast enough for you, just make sure it's a them thing and not a you thing. Okay, so just another thing I want you to do is be engaged. We've already talked about the highlights of that. I'm talking about college. I'm talking about your relationships. I'm talking about your employers. My last bit of advice for you is to get your own personal board of directors. All companies, even this college, has a board of directors to guide it. I encourage you not to go it alone making important decisions in your life. You need to ask people around you that you trust to be part of your board of directors. Some should be experts. Some should be connectors, connecting you to people and jobs and things. But some need to be truth tellers, telling you when to stay grounded by keeping you very real. I have a couple of those in my life. There is no such thing as a self-made person. We all need the help of others to get where we're going. Some of you will take this degree and go directly to work. Your education here at Patrick and Henry and this school's reputation have allowed for that. Some of you plan to transfer to a four-year university, and they have prepared you academically for that as well. For all of you, community college was a smart choice. People think of community colleges as being flexible or affordable, but they're also places of quality learning. Last year in Virginia, there were 56,000 bachelor's degrees awarded. 27,000 of those were from community college transfers. From this point forward, you are an alumni of Patrick and Henry. Be as proud of yourselves as we are of you. Stay connected. Tell your friends what great opportunities that there are here for them. Tell them the amount of attention this faculty gave you when you were learning, and tell them that Patrick and Henry was a smart choice for you. Because no matter where you go from here, you got your first start here. Congratulations to you. Thank you.
Dr. Tincher-Ladner, thank you so very much for inspiring words. We're delighted to welcome you back home. You can come home anytime. Would you join me here one more time? On behalf of the Patrick and Henry faculty, staff, students, and administration, we want to extend our appreciation with a small token. These were all made by students at our Idea Center here at Patrick and Henry Community College. Join me one more time in expressing our gratitude to Dr. Lynn Tincher-Ladner. Now I'm delighted to introduce Instructor Bronte Miller, last year's Faculty of the Year, who will read our awards.
Good morning. We take great pride in recognizing those graduates who have achieved high levels of academic excellence. After many years as educators and students, we, the faculty and staff of P&HCC, acknowledge the tremendous and sustained effort required to achieve and maintain the level of performance demonstrated by these 4 categories of students. Among our graduates are students designated as Patrick and Henry Scholars. Because of their demonstrated leadership and academic potential, the College Foundation selected these students for full tuition scholarships while students at P&HCC. Their continued excellence is recognized here today. We recognize the honor graduates who are members of Phi Theta Kappa. Psi-Phi Chapter. These students have the distinction of belonging to the International Honor Society for two-year college students. The Greek letters Phi Theta Kappa mean wisdom, aspiration, and purity. The Society's purpose is to recognize and encourage scholarship among students enrolled in a two-year associate degree program. Our local Psi-Phi chapter graduating members are distinguished today by their golden tassels and golden stoles. We would like to honor and thank our students who are veterans of military service to the United States. Our veterans are distinguished here today by their red, white, and blue cords. Finally, graduating academic honors are awarded by the college to those students who have achieved exceptional academic averages for all the work they have attempted. On a 4-point grade scale, those students achieving a 3.2 to 3.49 average are recognized as graduating cum laude with honor. Those with 3.5 to 3.79 average are recognized as graduating magna cum laude with high honor. Those with a 3.8 or higher average are recognized as graduating summa cum laude with highest honor. As graduates are called to receive their diplomas, honors awarded will be cited.
Will the graduating class of 2022 please rise? Dr. Hodges, honored guests, distinguished faculty, families, and friends, as Chief Academic Officer and on behalf of the Patrick and Henry Community College faculty, I'm honored to present the graduating class of 2022. These students have completed all requirements for the appropriate degrees or certificates, and I take great pleasure in recommending these graduates to our president, Dr. Greg Hodges.
Under the authority vested in me as president of Patrick and Henry Community College and upon the recommendation of our college faculty, I hereby confer the appropriate degrees and certificates with all rights and privileges pertaining thereto to the graduates here presented. I now ask Terry Young, Interim Vice President of Academic and Student Success Services, for the presentation of the degrees.
Will the graduates please come forward to receive their awards? Cabria Monet Hagwood, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization, Human Services. Brooke Gabrielle Belcher, Associate of Applied Science in Early Childhood Development.
Just pause once.
Yeah, absolutely. Frida Aguilar, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization Criminal Justice, Certificate in General Education, magna cum laude. Dylan Alexander Aguilar Diaz, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Julio Adalberto Amaya Lopez, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Liliana Medina Ariza, Associate of Applied Science and Health Technology, Nursing, cum laude. April Barker Arias, Associate of Applied Science and EMS Paramedic, cum laude. Christian David Michael Armstead, Associate of Applied Science and Technical Studies, Specialization Motorsports Technology, magna cum laude. James Hutchinson Arnold, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Seth Nicholas Arrington, Associate in Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization Information Technology, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Tiana Nakira Barksdale, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies. Jessica Chanel Barner, Associate of Applied Science in Health Technology Nursing. Trevor Gage Barnes, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Ian Bishop, Certificate in Industrial Welding, Career Studies Certificate in Welding. Corey M. Brandon Jr., Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Savannah Arlene Brown, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Delaney Rebecca Burris, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Tia Maria Bai, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Giselle Carrillo Rodriguez, Associate of Applied Science and Administration of Justice. Abigail Grace Carter, Associate of Applied Science and Physical Therapy Assistant. Amanda Nicole Castle, Associate in Arts and Sciences and Business Administration, Certificate in General Education, cum laude. Anmei Elizabeth Chang, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Haley Dawn Chitwood, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Kiari Naye Clemens, Associate of Applied Science in Health Technology Nursing, cum laude. Dylan James Cochran, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Kennedy S. Coleman, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Benjamin Evan Dalton, Associate of Applied Science in EMS, Paramedic, summa cum laude. Jessica Taylor Davis, Associate of Applied Science in Health Technology, Nursing. Melinda Carey Lee Day, Associate of Applied Science in Administration of Justice, cum laude. Blake McKenzie Deal, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, cum laude. Nathan William Dehart, Associate of Applied Science and Information Systems Technology, Career Studies Certificate in Computer Service Technician and Internet Webmaster, cum laude. Emily Camilla Diaz Monet, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Gabriel Lane Divers, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Danielle Lee Draper, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Jordan Nathaniel Elliott, Associate of Applied Sciences in Industrial Electronics Technology, Career Studies Certificate in Industrial Maintenance Electronics, cum laude. Loriana Simone Elliott, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Michael Elliott, Associate of Applied Science in EMS Paramedic, summa cum laude. Madison Lee Ferguson, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Brittany Ann Festa, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization Human Services. Michaela Fix, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, cum laude. Sydney Gale Foster, Career Studies Certificate in Health Technology, Emergency Medical Services. Noah Andrew Freeman, Associate of Applied Science and Administration of Justice, summa cum laude. Kaylee Nicole Fuller, Associate of Applied Science and Administration of Justice, cum laude. Elise Marie Gardner, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Carla Lazeth Garbe, Associate in Arts and Sciences and Business Administration, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Melissa Danielle Gravely, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, summa cum laude. Ivana Maria Gutierrez, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Joanna Maria Gutierrez, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, magna cum laude. Brittany Tiana Hairston, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Diana S. Harrison, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Latasha Copenine Harrison, Associate of Applied Science and Health Technology, Nursing, cum laude. Nigel Stefan Harrison, Associate of Applied Science and Technical Studies, Specialization Motorsports Technology, Career Studies Certificate in Motorsports Technician, magna cum laude. Jasmine Rose Hamlet, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Rhonda J. Hamlet, Associate of Applied Science and Administrative Support Technology, Specialization Medical Office, Career Studies Certificate in Medical Transcription, cum laude. Mary Catherine Handy, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, cum laude. Olivia Biana Harper, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Edward A. Harrison, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Amanda Jean Holcomb, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, magna cum laude. Melissa Nicole Howe, Associate of Applied Science in Accounting. Lauren Elizabeth Herza, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Caroline Olivia Hughes, Associate of Applied Science and Physical Therapy Assistant, cum laude. Christina Delane Hughes, Associate of Applied Science in Management, Specialization Culinary and Hospitality, magna cum laude. Jaden Olivia Hurdle, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Zaria Ane Hutchins, Associate in Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization in Information Technology, Certificate in General Education, magna cum laude. Brittany Ann Hilton, Associate in Arts and Sciences and General Studies, Specialization Criminal Justice, cum laude. Jade Wynn Hilton, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Candace Dawn Hilton, Associate of Applied Science in Early Childhood Development. Carolyn Rose James, Certificate in Therapeutic Massage. Camille Montia Jameson, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Michael A. Johnson, Associate of Applied Science, Information Systems Technology, Specialization Internet Services, magna cum laude. Ainsley Marie Jones, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Amanda Brooke Jones, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Olivia Grace Jones, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Caitlin Ann Kennedy, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Abigail Ann Keister, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Zoe Lynn Kinkema, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Hunter Allen Lavender, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Caitlin Mariah Lawrence, Associate of Applied Science and Administrative Support Technology, Specialization Medical Office, Career Study Certificate in Medical Transcription and Office Assisting. Emily Grace Lemons, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, cum laude. Lydia Page Lester, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Freddie Anselmo Lopez Lopez, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Elizabeth A. Lofton, Associate of Applied Science and Physical Therapy Assistant, summa cum laude. Giselle Lopez, Associate of Applied Science and Management, Specialization, Entrepreneurship, Small Business. Ivan Lopez Macarena, Certificate in Industrial Welding, Career Studies Certificate in Welding, magna cum laude. Izahira Luna, Certificate in Therapeutic Massage. Lauren Elizabeth Luther, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Dominique Fitzgerald Lyons, Associate in Arts and Sciences in Business Administration, Certificate in General Education, cum laude. Giovanni Yair Muchuka Tiznado, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Daniela Marie Martinez, Associate in Arts and Sciences, Specialization Pre-BSN, cum laude. Heidi Alexandra Mathena, Associate of Applied Science and Physical Therapy Assistant, magna cum laude. Blake Lee McCutcheon, Associate of Applied Science and Management, Specialization Entrepreneurship, Small Business, cum laude. Ashley Brooke McGee, Associate of Applied Science and Technical Studies, Certificate in Industrial Welding, summa cum laude. Ava Catherine Meyer, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Ayana Nakia Mitchell, Associate of Applied Science in Health Technology, Nursing. Amber Nicole Mize, Associate of Applied Science in Health Technology, Nursing, magna cum laude. Amber Nicole Morgan, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Mackenzie Elizabeth Grace Morrison, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Nathan Daniel Morrison, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. William Logan Morrison, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Michaela Jordan Moss, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Portia Chanel Moyer, Certificate in Early Childhood Education. Stacy Karai Murphy, Associate of Applied Science in Health Technology Nursing, cum laude. Yamani Monet Muse, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization, Human Services. Danielle Ann Nagel, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. David Andrew Nagel, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, magna cum laude. Skylar Brianne Nugent, Associate in Arts and Sciences in Science, Specialization Pre-BSN, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization Human Services, Certificate in General Education. Emma Grace Nestor, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Matthew Allen Nolan, Associate of Applied Science and Information Systems Technology, Career Studies Certificate in Computer Service Technician and Internet Webmaster, magna cum laude. Lionel Blair Nolan, Associate of Applied Science and Industrial Electronics, Career Studies in Industrial Controls and Residential Commercial Industrial Electrician, summa cum laude. Nick Connor O'Dare, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies. Alanis Nicole Osgood, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Philip David Parsons, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Akela Kiara Penn, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Nitera Kellis Penn, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Emma Catherine Perry, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Claudia Grace Phillips, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Kamaya Pitzer, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Anna Grace Poe, Associate in Arts and Sciences in Science Specialization Pre-BSN, magna cum laude. Jenna Danielle Pruitt, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization Human Services, magna cum laude. Kayla Danielle Ray, Associate of Applied Science and Health Technology, Nursing. Marcus Montez Red, Jr., Associate in Arts and Sciences and General Studies, Specialization Information Technology, Certificate in General Education. Shari Red, Associate of Applied Science and Early Childhood Development, cum laude. Alejandra Perez Reyes, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies. Paulina Elizabeth Reyes, Associate of Applied Science in General Engineering. Brett Patrick Reynolds, Associate of Applied Science and Physical Therapy Assistant. Kayla Marie Reynolds, Career Studies Certificate in Health Technology, Emergency Medical Services, Advanced EMT. William Nelson Rice, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, magna cum laude. James Leonard Keaton Richardson, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Shelby Michaela Rigney, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Michael Antonio Roberts II, Career Studies Certificate in Cybersecurity. Cynthia Jade Robertson, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Lilibeth Rodriguez Ortega, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Cesar Romero, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Catherine Alana Rohr, Certificate in General Education. Thomas Lincoln Rose, Jr., Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Jeffrey Allen Simpson, Career Study Certificate in Welding.
Jeffrey, well done.
Nancy Olvera Sanchez, Associate of Applied Science and Administrative Support Technology, Certificate in Clerical Studies, Career Study Certificate in Office Assisting, summa cum laude. Joseph Thomas Sanders, Associate of Applied Science and Technical Studies, Specialization, Motorsports Technology. Annette Santiago Perez, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Jacqueline L. Scales, Career Studies Certificate in Substance Abuse, Substance Abuse Counselor Assistant. Donna Bennett Shank, Certificate in Therapeutic Massage, magna cum laude. Ian Nathaniel Sechrist, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Allison Nicole Shrewsbury, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Morgan Shea Smith, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Kiana Janae Spencer, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization Human Services, Certificate in General Education. Ryan O'Neill Spencer, Associate of Applied Science and Information Systems Technology, magna cum laude. Faith Noel Sprinkle, Associate in Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization Criminal Justice, Certificate in General Education, magna cum laude. Sharita C. Stanley, Associate of Applied Science and Administrative Support Technology, magna cum laude. Bryson Tyler Stokes, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Christy Haraway Strader, Associate of Applied Science in Early Childhood Development, veteran of the United States Armed Forces. Brianna Grace Tatum, Associate of Arts and Science in Science, Certificate in General Education. Logan Reuben Taylor, Certificate in Therapeutic Massage. Cindy Thomas, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization Human Services. Barbara Jean Toney, Career Studies Certificate in Wellness.
Congratulations, well done.
Jessica Louise Trussell, Associate of Applied Science in Health Technology, Nursing. Jennifer Marie Turner, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Onyenye Agboma Atunya, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Litzy Marian Valderrama Banda, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Hannah Bryn Vaughn, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Amber Nicole Wagner, Career Studies Certificate in Health Technology, Pre-Nursing. Caitlin Elizabeth Wagner, Career Studies Certificate in Office Assisting. Paige Monet Wainwright, Associate of Applied Science and Physical Therapy Assistant, summa cum laude. Abby Nicole Walden, Associate of Applied Science and Administrative Support Technology, Specialization Medical Office, summa cum laude. Michael Bass Walker, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Shakita Jernell Walton, Associate of Applied Science in Early Childhood Development. Cassie Elaine White, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Hunter Blake Whitlow, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Chloe Denise Wilkes, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Jessica Lorraine Wilkins, Career Studies Certificate in Health Technology, Emergency Medical Services. Ariana Rebecca Wilson, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, magna cum laude. Montasia LaShante Wilson, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education. Naya Lynette Wilson, Associate of Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Certificate in General Education, cum laude. Sydney Nicole Witcher, Associate of Arts and Sciences in Science, Certificate in General Education. Audrey Elizabeth Witt, Career Studies Certificate in Medical Technology, Emergency Medical Services. Anthony Tyrone Womack, Career Studies Certificate in Culinary Hospitality Management. Anthony W. Wright, Associate in Arts and Sciences in General Studies, Specialization, Teacher Education Preparation, Certificate in General Education, summa cum laude. Tiffany Brianne Zucchini, Associate of Applied Science and Health Technology Nursing, magna cum laude. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the Patrick and Henry Community College class of 2022.
Thank you for your attendance today. We are honored to recognize these 2022 graduates. We're going to ask that everyone please stand while the party exits. Thank you for being with us today.